Understanding what a credit report is and maintaining a good credit score can be confusing. What do people see when they look at your credit report? Who has access to your report? What affects a credit score? A poor credit history can lead to harsh consequences, like higher interest rates and fewer loan options. It can even make it harder to find housing or a job. Once you know what goes into a credit report, who can see your report, what can help or hurt your credit score, and how to check your credit, you'll have all of the information necessary to build a good credit score. You may need verification for attending this class. Please note, there will be a special phrase. Please write down the phrase in order to receive credit for attending. The phrase will be very clearly noted for you. What is a credit report? A credit report is a snapshot in time showing where you stand with your creditors. It's a report on the status of your debt. A creditor is a person or financial institution you owe money to. Some examples of creditors are banks, credit card issuers, a landlord, or even friends or family that you owe money to. There are 3 main credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Creditors report your information to these bureaus. It's important to note that some creditors report to all of these bureaus, while some report to only one bureau, and some creditors might not even report to any bureau. The credit bureaus only report what gets reported to them, and you can always dispute any inaccuracies with the credit bureau. A credit report mainly shows 3 things: credit activity, which includes your current debt, monthly payments, and your loan amount; personal information, such as your name, address, employer, collections and judgments, and bankruptcies and repossessions; and personal history, which includes the last 24 months and shows whether things were paid for on time or past due. Now, who gets to see this information? An important thing to remember is that no one can pull your report without your consent. So, why would anyone want to see your credit report? The main reason a creditor wants to see your report is so they can decide what kind of risk there is of you not paying them back. There are some people who you can expect will want to pull your report, such as banks, especially if you're opening an account or taking out a loan, credit card companies, landlords, utility companies, car insurance companies. Some employers might have no bankruptcies or federal tax claims as a job requirement, or collection agencies. But what about a credit score? How is that different from a credit report? A credit score is a prediction of your credit behavior. It's a score that represents the likelihood you will pay your bills. The higher your score, the better your credit. So what makes up a credit score? 35% of your score is based on your payment history. Paying on or before a due date will increase your score. Late payments reduce your score. If you have collections, judgments, or bankruptcies, those will also reduce your score. Your payment history stays with you for 7 years. 30% is from the amount owed compared to your available credit. The less you owe, the better your score will be than if you maxed out a credit card. For a better score, it's good practice to owe less than 30% of what your available credit is. 15% is based on the length of your credit history. The longer you pay on a bill, the better your credit score because there is a longer record of you making on-time payments. 10% is affected by new credit. New credit can take 6 months to establish and affect your score. Searching for new credit or making inquiries reflects badly against the score, so be cautious when opening new accounts. 10% is based on the type of credit used. There are 2 types of credit. Unsecured credit includes things like credit cards, personal loans, store credit cards, and medical bills. Secured credit are loans with collateral. This means that if you don't repay the loan, the person you owe the money to can take something else instead, such as your boat, house, or vehicle. There are some things that are important to keep in mind when managing your credit score. Do not close accounts with a good payment history if they are paid in full. When an account is closed, it is no longer included in the amount owed compared to the original loan amount. An easy way to keep a credit card active is to use it once a month and pay the borrowed amount. When a lender sees medical bills on a credit report, it is because it is in collection. Have a payment plan on bills to keep them off their report. Credit reports only report a credit record, not a criminal record. For example, if a landlord takes you to court for non-payment, this will be on the report. However, a criminal action, like an unpaid speeding ticket, will not be. Our staff at Michigan Works West Central have additional tips on credit reporting.
One way that people can help their credit score is by getting a credit card, getting a personal loan, a vehicle loan, any kind of loan, credit card, even if it's a low rate or low amount, that'll help build your credit.
Something that helped my credit score, and I'm going to be honest with you, probably 15 years ago, it was very low. What I did was I got a car loan or I got a small credit card, and I would put my gas on it and make sure I paid it off before it was due. I had a car loan and I paid a payment and a half. That not only helped take off interest off that car loan, and I think I ended up paying that vehicle off about 3 years early, just because of that little bit of paying it extra a year. And that took my credit score up so quickly.
Now that you know the ins and outs of a credit report and score, how can you check your score? Doesn't checking a credit score make it go down? Not necessarily. You are allowed to pull a free and safe copy of your credit report once per year without it affecting your score. You can do this by going to annualcreditreport.com. This is the only federally authorized central source for free credit reports. Here is the special phrase for those of you that need to make sure you receive credit for this class. The phrase is, knowing your credit report is important.
Checking your credit score is very important.
Sometimes, not very often, there could be fraud on it.
If you don't have a good credit score, it's going to be hard for you to get a loan. The interest rates also, if you have a low credit score, your interest rates are going to be higher. So you want to try to get your credit scores higher so you have better interest rates for loans that you get.
Credit reports and maintaining a good credit score don't have to be confusing. Once you know what goes into a credit report and what affects your score, you can better manage your credit in a way that benefits you. Don't be afraid to pull your own credit report once a year, and if you see any inaccuracies, you can always dispute them directly with the credit bureau. Want to better understand credit? Michigan Works West Central can help. Visit mwwc.org and contact your local service center for more information.